Hello there, and thanks for joining me today. I'm Art Super Drawer, and in this video, I'm going to talk about whether you should use a real name or a stage name for your branding. So first of all, what is a stage name? Well, Art Super Drawer isn't my real name, believe it or not. My real name is Aaron Rutten, and Art Super Drawer is just the stage name I made up for this video. A stage name is a made-up name that you create professionally in place of your birth name. An example of that would be Jazza or Android Jones. It could also be a brand name or a business name such as Control Paint or Lockery Fine Art. So in order to answer the question, should you use a stage name or your real name, let's talk about some of the pros and cons of each. Let's start with the pros of using your real name. First, the real you is getting credit for everything you do. You also won't have to change anything. You don't have to manage more than one name. You can be yourself, and people who knew you before you were successful can say, I knew that person before they were successful. Now let's talk about some of the cons of using your real name. It might not resonate well with your target audience. It might be hard to spell and or pronounce. It might be a source of ridicule. Your name might be Seymour Butts, and people might just laugh at you more than they respect your art. Your real name might be associated with something negative or unappealing. It might not be a catchy name with a lot of impact. It's likely not going to be searchable unless it's associated with a popular subject, so if your name is Aaron Rutten, people probably are only searching for Aaron Rutten to find me or to find another Aaron Rutten. If I change my name to Art Super Drawer, the word art in there would be very searchable because people are searching for art. A real name also might have a lot of search and brand competition from other people with that name, especially if it's a common name. I know there's a few Aaron Ruttens out there who have some content on the internet. I think one is like a heart surgeon or something, and every now and then I get emails from people saying, hey Aaron Rutten, I need your help with whatever, and I'm like, I'm not that Aaron Rutten, sorry, I just make digital art. But if your name is Jane Smith or Bob Brown or something, then you're probably going to have a lot of other people out there with content on the internet under that name, and it could be confusing for people to find you in a search. Now I'm just trying to imagine how irritated all these other Aaron Ruttens are out there, because I have so much of my stuff on the internet that if you search for Aaron Rutten, you're probably going to find me. And so there's probably other Aaron Ruttens out there who want to be able to do something with the internet and they can't because I've ruined it. So those are the pros and cons of using a real name. Let's talk about the pros and cons of using a stage name or a brand name. Starting with the pros, a stage name just might be more catchy than a real name. It might be unique or completely original, and it might help you stand out among the competition. It might be more memorable than a real name, especially if it's short and easily recognizable. A stage name might be easier to spell and pronounce than a real name, and if you're using a stage name, you can play a character or you can be somebody else. If you're using keywords in your stage name or your brand, it might be more searchable than using a real name, as I mentioned earlier. Now let's talk about some of the cons of using a stage name or a brand name. Just like a tattoo, you're stuck with it once you choose it because changing your name can be confusing for your audience and it can actually hurt your brand. Some people might not like the name you choose, and the name you choose might have more of a negative impact on your success than a positive one. More effort might be required for setting up a business, filing taxes, or performing other legal tasks associated with being a professional. And it hurts to say it, but a stage name can come off as kind of gimmicky to some people. So where do I stand on the whole stage name, brand name thing? Well, obviously I prefer to use my real name. It's not easy to spell or remember, but it's not really terribly difficult either. So I feel like it's within the range of being usable as a brand name, and I just don't feel comfortable using a stage name or a brand to represent myself. I think in the case of people who have a very difficult name to spell or to remember, you might consider using a brand name or a stage name to make it easier for your audience to discover your work. So there you go, those are my thoughts on using your real name or a stage name for branding. If you found this information helpful, take a quick second to like this video. And if you're new to my channel, I'd love to have you subscribe. I have a lot more videos for digital artists like you. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.